Good evening, children. In today's class, we are going to study a lesson, the fight. The story happens in a certain part of the country. It is, the name of the area is known as Rajputana Desert. The lesson is about a fight between two children. The names of two children is Suraj and Ranjit. Suraj and Ranjit are the two boys which appear in the lesson. As I told you already, it is about the fight between two children. It's a much interesting story, and in the very beginning, let me tell you something about Ruskin Bond, who is the writer of this lesson. Ruskin Bond is a writer of this lesson, and he writes the fight between these two children in a very beautiful manner. Let me recall once again. Name of the boys or name of the two important characters in the lesson is Suraj and Ranjit. At the very beginning, let me introduce some of the words which we are going to study in this lesson. May I have your attention towards the board. There are some words already told. First one is fierceness, which means ferocity. Next one is adversary. The meaning of this word is opponent. Vigor is the next word. The meaning of vigor is strength. Feat is a special achievement or special skill. Unflinching. The meaning of unflinching is without blinking. Next word is limpid, means which is very clear. Coming to the next word, interminably. The meaning of interminably means which has no end or endlessly. Endlessly. By adding less to end, so we made it endless, which is an example of suffix. Then parched. The meaning of parched is very hot and dry. Then translucency. Translucency is, just a minute. The meaning of translucency is clear, which is very clear. Torrent. Next word is torrent. A rushing stream of water is known as torrent. Then cascading means coming down like a waterfall. Trickle. Trickle happens to be the thin flow of the water is called trickle. Wallowed. Wallowed means roll about. So this word is used in this lesson because there was a fight between these two boys in the lesson. Both were wallowing in the water. Taken aback means surprised. The meaning of taken aback is surprised. Tremendous is great. Rapid is quick. Now coming to the last line of the difficult words. Hostility is enmity. Next one is thick set is stout or strong, we can say, that is stout, that is thick set. Impasse, it is pronounced also as impasse. Impasse is also pronounced as impasse. So the meaning is deadlock. Impasse means it is a situation from which you cannot escape. You cannot escape, that is called impasse, which is also called as impasse. Staggered. Staggered means felt weak. Muster. Muster is to collect or to gather. Collect or to gather. Spluttering means speaking in a confused manner, that is spluttering. Then assailant means a person, one who attacks. In this story, the boy who is going to attack the another is known as assailant. Penetrated. Penetrated is to go through something, to pass through something, that is called penetrate. Frenzied. Frenzied is a violent and also very much confused. A contextual meaning in this lesson. Exhaustion. Exhaustion is a tiredness. So these are some of the words that we are going to study in this lesson. As I have already told, name of the lesson is the fight, and let me write the name of the writer also, Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond is name of the writer. So he writes the story in a very beautiful manner. So Ranji goes to a certain place, and he was living in that place more than a month, and when he stayed there, he discovered the pool of the cool water in the middle of the forest. It was the height of the summer. Height of the summer means it was the extreme summer. Height of the summer is extreme summer, and having as yet made no friends in this semi-hill station, he wandered about a good deal by himself into the hills and forests that stretched away interminably. So already I told you he had come to a new place called Rajput, in a Rajputana desert, and it was a vacation time. It was a new place for him. He was having no friends there, that's why without knowing what to do. So he was roaming here and there. Finally he discovered a great pool of water. It will be a great experience to have a swim in the height of the summer. That's why he was so happy. Okay, Ranji walked about in western shorts, his brown feet white with chalky dust that flew up from the ground. The earth was parched, the grass, the trees listless, hardly stirring, waiting for cool breeze. Waiting for cool breeze, the earth parched, the grass brown, the trees listless, hardly stirring, waiting for cool wind or a refreshing shower of a rain. So it is a new place for him. He was enjoying there. When he found the pool of water, he was so happy. He was really very much happy there. When he saw the water, he went inside the water and he began to take bath. After some time, it so happens, after taking bath, he takes bath and goes home. But when he comes to the pool next day, he found the boy. He found one more boy standing there, and he's asking him, "Who are you? What's your name? And why do you come here? It is my pool. You cannot come here without my permission," he says. Without my permission, he says. And he says that, "Yes, I am Ranji," and when the other boy was speaking in a different way. Ranji kept calm and he was speaking so calmly. But the other boy was about to start the quarrel. He was speaking in such a way as if he is going to fight. His intention is to fight with him. It was his intention because the way he spoke, it was very much clear. And the boy is asking, "Who are you?" He says, "I am Ranji." Understand? But at the same time, the other boy is not convinced. He was in the mood of fighting with him, and he's asking, "I am a fighter," he says, "and I am a champion," like that. This is what happens. Then when Ranji saw the pool, he did not hesitate to get into it. He had often gone swimming alone or with friends. He had lived with parents in thirsty town. And actually when he saw this pool, Ranji was so happy because in his village also were some pools, but they were not very good. They were all so muddy and so dirty, and children swimming, women washing the cloth, and buffalo were wallowing in that. For the first time, this pool he saw, he was so happy because it was very neat and clean. It was so even the small pebbles at the bottom of the pool also are visible. Such a crystal clear water it was. And that is why he was so happy. Next day he came again to, so already I told you, first day when he saw the water, he jumped in that, he had a great swim. So next day also comes there. But when he comes next day, he found a boy and he was asking, "Who are you? Why did you come here without my permission?" He was asking him so many questions. Okay. Next day he came again to quench his body in the cool waters of the forest pool. He was there for almost an hour, sliding in and out of the limpid green water. Already I told what is the meaning of limpid. Limpid is clear. The water was very clear. It was while he lay thus, he noticed another boy standing little distance away, staring at him in a rather hostile manner. Hostile is, he was looking at Ranji just like an enemy. Somebody looks at the enemy in that fashion, he was looking at him. Then, the other boy was little older than Ranji, tallest, thick-set, with broad nose and thick red lips. He had only just noticed Ranji, and when Ranji did not say anything, the other called out, "What are you doing here, mister?" The other boy is asking Ranji, "Why did you come here? What are you doing?" Ranji, who was prepared, Ranji actually was so happy to see another one boy there, because he was all alone in the new place. He wanted to make a friendship with the new boy. But this fellow in the sense, who is that? Suraj, he began to speak in a very different way. Okay. So he began to speak in such a passion as if someone speaks to their enemies. Okay. Ranji, who was prepared to be friendly, was taken aback at the hostility of the stone. "I am swimming," he replied. "Why don't you join me?" "What I am doing here in the water, what can do? I am swimming. You also come and join me?" He was asking. "I always swim alone." But the other boy spoke in an adamant way. The other boy, already I told you who is that other boy? Suraj. Suraj told that, "No, I never swim along with the people like you. I always swim all alone. I never swim with others." "Okay, I always swim alone," said the other. "This is my pool. I will not invite you here." He says that this is my pool. I will not invite you. How dare to come here? The stranger strode up to Ranji, who still sat on the rock and planting his broad feet firmly on the sand, said, as though he would settle the matter at once for all, "Don't you know I am a warrior?" So Suraj says, "I am a warrior." Suraj says that I am a warrior. And when he says I am a warrior, then Ranji says I am a fighter. Suraj says I am a warrior. Then Ranji says I am a fighter. Okay. So, don't you know I am a warrior? I do not take replies from villagers like you. I don't want to talk with the people like you. So, you like fight with villagers? So, you don't want to talk to the villagers. Would you like to fight with the villagers? Then he is asking. Well, I am not a villager. I am a fighter. They said that if you are a warrior, I am a fighter. So, here, Suraj is warrior. Ranji says that he is a fighter. They had reached an impasse. Impasse, already I told you, it is a deadlock. It is such a situation from which you cannot escape. That is called impasse. Okay. It is also called as, also read as impasse. You can look at the downside. Words and their meanings are given here. I am a warrior, I am a fighter. They reached an impasse. One had said he was a warrior, the other proclaimed himself a fighter. There was a little else that could be said. There was a little else that could be said. You understand, I am a warrior, and the stranger, feeling perhaps this information had not penetrated Ranji's head. I have heard you say it 3 times. So again and again, Suraj was saying that I am a warrior. Can't you listen? For that, Ranji said, how many times you are saying? I heard it for a 3rd time. Don't say the same thing again and again. If you say again and again, it does not make any difference. If you are a warrior, I am a fighter. Okay, this is what happens. And he's asking, if you know that I am a warrior, why you are not running away? He says, he's asking Ranji. For that, Ranji replies in a very funny manner. I am not running away from here because I am waiting to see you run away from here. I am waiting to see you run away from here. I am not a person who can run away from here. I want you to run away, says Ranji to Suraj. Already Suraj Suraj said, I am a warrior. Ranji said, I am a fighter. Right? This is what happens. So finally, it is such a time, almost like the fight was about to begin. Then if you are not going away from here, then I will have to beat you, said Suraj. I will have to beat you, said the stranger, assuming a violent attitude, showing Ranji the palm of his hand. So what happens here? So the fight began. Both began to fight. Both went and fell in the water, and in a very confused manner they began to fight among themselves. So after some time, the fight came to close. Now, Suraj is saying that come tomorrow, I will see you, but tomorrow be careful, I am not going to show you any mercy. You come here, if you want to continue the fight, come tomorrow. But tomorrow, today simply I thought that I should leave you. But if you come tomorrow, I am not going to show you any mercy. Be careful. Like that he said. And now, after this fight, both went to their respective homes. Both went to their respective homes, and the next day, already both of them have promised. They have promised that tomorrow come, I will see you. Suraj said to Ranji, and Ranji vice versa. Next day, Ranji, whether he is interested or not interested, he must go to the pool. If he is not going, means it is something like accepting the defeat. So next day, Ranji comes to the pool, thinking that if Suraj had not come to the pool, it would be fine, because in the previous day they fought in such a way, it was a very confused fight. It was a great struggle. They had got a lot of injuries, bruises, scars on the face. When Ranji went to home the first day, his mother was asking, what happened? Why you have bruises and scars on your face? He found it very difficult to explain. So next day his body was paining and he was not in the mood of continuing the fight. But anyhow, he had to go there. Next day he came. Why he had to go there? If he is not going, it is something like accepting a defeat. That's why he goes there. By the time when he goes there, he found the other side Suraj is standing. And says, Suraj, come this side, we shall start fighting. Then Ranji said, no, why should I come? You only come to this side, he said. Then he said, no, don't you know how to swim? Suraj is challenging to Ranji. But Ranji was one thing I should tell you, Ranji was a champion swimmer. He died in the water, he cut the water like a knife. And within no time, he reaches that side. Within no time, he reaches that side. Suraj was a little bit stronger than Ranji, but the problem is, he was knowing the swimming, but he was not a champion swimmer like Ranji. By seeing Ranji, he was taken aback. He was taken aback. Taken aback means, taken aback, I wrote here, the meaning of taken aback is surprised. Who was taken aback? Suraj was taken aback. Because Ranji was a fighter, plus he was a champion swimmer, I told you. Then, by seeing that, he was really surprised, and it so happens, by seeing him, what happens, I thought that Ranji may not be knowing anything, but for the first time Suraj saw, he is such a great swimmer. And by seeing him, he decides that I also should swim like that. And he is asking Ranji, hey, you do one thing, tomorrow onwards, daily come here and you teach me swim and dive like you in the water. He is asking him, you have to teach me. If you are not teaching, then I will beat you. Once again, Suraj is trying to threaten Ranji. Then Ranji says, okay, if you want, I am ready to teach you. And he is diving and showing Suraj how to dive. Likewise, Suraj also does, but it was not a correct one. It was not a correct one, and he makes a funny comment also. And when he came out, at that time, Suraj was really excited, as if he was thinking that he has done a great job, but actually it was not a perfect dive. But finally, at the end of the story, it so happens, Ranji says that yes, if you are ready to learn how to swim properly, I am ready to teach you. So the agreement takes place. Ranji is going to teach Suraj how to swim properly, because Suraj also wanted to be a champion swimmer like Ranji. But at the same time, Suraj also wanted to give something to Ranji. What it is? Ranji, you are a great swimmer, no doubt in that. But at the same time, you are so thin. The problem with you is if people are not eating. Look at me, I am so strong. He was showing his biceps and all. Suraj was showing his biceps. You people are so skinny and bony because you people do not eat properly, says Suraj to Ranji. If you come with me, I will make you a Pahalwan like me. So the agreement happens. At the end of the story, what happens here? There was an agreement between Ranji and Suraj. Ranji will make Suraj a champion swimmer. In turn, Suraj will make Ranji a Pahalwan. Understand? So the very important thing in the story is two enemies are becoming two best friends with the policy of give and take. Okay? So both agreed. It was a great deal. Understand? Through this we will come to know that fighting is not a solution to any problem. If there is any problem, it can be solved. It can be solved just by negotiation, just by discussion. And we should always help others, and we should not hesitate to take the help of others also. Give and take policy, mutual help and mutual understanding will help us to go for a long time. At the end of the lesson, recapitulation is two important characters, Suraj and Ranji. Name of the lesson is The Fight. Name of the writer is Ruskin Bond. Right? So, they were the enemies. How they changed into friends. So, Ranji helped Suraj to become champion swimmer, and Suraj helped Ranji to become Pahalwan, to become physically very stout and strong. So, this is how it was a good deal. So, the misunderstanding or the enmity is changing into a great friendship. Enmity is changing into a great friendship. So, this is how there is a solution for all the problems if we sit at the negotiation table and discuss in a peaceful manner. I think children, you must have understood. I think you have understood what is the story here. If there are any queries, you can ask me at any time. Thank you. Have a nice day.